Hi everybody, this is Donnie. I'm here today to show you a quick tutorial on how to foil a sheet of headers. I use sticker paper and I create different shapes of things that I can use for my planners, particularly my Erin Condren Life Planner. The headers of a life planner are the size 1.5 inches wide by 0.284 inches in height, and that's what my grid over here is laid out with, is as many of these little headers as I can fit on a piece of paper. When I foil using a laser printer. That's one of the main things that you have to have if you're going to foil, because the foil will only adhere to toner. I use a black background to print on my sticker paper first. Taking that black background with registration marks, I can foil that sheet of paper and then I can cut that sheet of paper. To set up my job though to do so, I have used 3 different tabs that I have created to help me with the layers that I'm using for this job. Basically there are 2 layers, the black layer and the red cut file layer. I have them designated. Of course, the black tab is going to be for the background. My clear tab is going to be for my cut lines, and that's this tab here. I have this third one here that's white. Let me show you what that is. First, I'm going to remove my black layer, and because I have this tab grouped with my black layer, it's a simple job of just taking the black tab and scooting it to the side. I'll throw it down here for now. Remember, anything that's on your mat, this 12 by 12 mat's for the Cameo 3, anything on your mat will not print and will not cut if you have your letter size paper on your mat. This is what I print, is this white sheet here. Whatever's on it will print and then it will cut. When you print stickers or anything that you want to cut, the machine has to align itself, and it uses these registration marks. On the paper that I want to foil, the paper background, in my case this black one, I want my registration marks to show, so I have them turned on right now. To do that, I would go to this third icon on my page setup, and in this first box I can turn it off or I can turn it on, and I have a Cameo, so I'm going to click Cameo. I have my settings set as far out as they'll go in this particular example. 787 at 0.8, and under advanced options, the first 3 insets I have set to the far left hand side. The bottom inset I'm not worried about, so I just do those first 3. Okay, I have 2 layers on this piece of paper now. I also have this cut layer where these are all the little headers that I have copied and made into a file that I want to cut after I foil. I'm going to take this file, let me move this one out of the way. I'll drag it up to the top. I can take this layer now and remove it because I have it grouped with this little tab on the side. Now I can do that. I have one more layer. That's this white layer next to this tab. And what it is, as I drag it over, I'll show you. White boxes. These white boxes, and you can see also at the upper left and the bottom left. These 3 white boxes I use to place where my registration mark hash lines are located. If I do that, then I can drag my background paper up and put it behind those lines so that, and I'm going to manipulate this a little bit, so that I can have that black, and I have to be careful because I have it exact here, so that this black background will print with these white blocks on top of it, and in my registration areas those spots will stay white. I'm going to manipulate this just a tiny bit more and put it right where I want it. I don't want the black to show beyond my registration marks in any of these corners. Now I can drag my cut file over on top of that and place them exactly where I want them, to cut on my page. And now here's the beauty of the layers. Okay, I have that placed. Once I have this placed, I now have the 3 layers. This white layer of white corners, I'm not going to move. It's going to stay there for the whole job. The only thing I'm going to move are these 2 layers. When I print, I don't want the red to print. I don't want anything odd to print on my black laser printer. All I want is the black background to print. In one movement, I'm going to take this tab and remove this little file of just the cut job over to the side. And now I can go up to my printer, choose my laser printer, which is the brother, set my preferences, and print the job. I'm going to cancel that for now. But let's pretend I now have my sticker paper printed with a big black box on it with little white corners. The registration marks are printed. All I have to do back here in my Silhouette Studio is click the undo button, our favorite button, right here. One time. It will click my cut file perfectly back onto this black background that I've made. As I cut, I don't necessarily need that on there, but I can leave it there because it's just going to cut. Okay, before I cut, I need to foil. So, how do I foil a piece of sticker paper that has registration marks? I go to the trouble to make and tape tabs of the back sheet of my sticker paper, a sheet I've already used, that almost wax paper type consistency. I tape. Let me take an example and show you. I'm going to take this little white box here. Pretend I need a pretty good size one. I want this one to go on top. This is just an example, okay? This is not really what you need to do on your Silhouette Studio. But I would actually try to cover that up with a piece of that waxy paper. Now I would put one of those on each of my registration marks, all 3 spots, and then on top of that I would lay my foil, run it through my ink machine, foil it, take it out, being careful to take all of the little tabs that I've created for these corners, and then I can run it through with perfect black registration marks. I'm sure there are other ways to do it, but that's what I tend to do when I'm foiling. The last step, of course, is to cut it using this machine. Send it to your Silhouette machine. I set mine, a lot of times they'll come open when you set things to send, to the simple action here. I always choose line because I can pick and choose and make double sure I'm not cutting like the black area out or something. I always make sure that just this red is turned on, everything else is not checked. And I make sure I'm set to sticker paper white. And my machine automatically sets it to 2, 8, and 14. I don't prefer 14, it cuts through my paper. So I choose 2, 8, and 8 for mine. That's just for me. Then I send it to my silhouette and my machine starts cutting. So I hope this was helpful for some of you that might be wanting to foil some stickers. This is just an example page I wanted to show you using this method. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all take care.